Hi everyone, this is Christine Jossi of Mail Something Pretty, and I'm super excited to show you how to make this card. It's like boxes, and it just sits right up on your table, and I think it'd make a great decoration, a fun card to receive in the mail, and it fits right in an envelope. So some people call it a triple box card, some people are calling it a cube card, but it folds up and it fits right inside your envelope, which is really cool. So I'm going to show you how to make one. I made this with this Halloween paper. I used other Halloween paper. And then I made, this is actually the first one I made for my dad's birthday. So they're fun, they're addictive. You're definitely going to want to make tons. And I think you'll like it. All you have to do is just kind of follow the steps. It's not hard. It's just paying attention to the steps, and that's all. Okay, so I have my measurements here. So I'm going to start cutting. Get my paper trimmer out. Use the ink. I need a little rim here. And we're going to start with it. This is a 8.5 by 11, and we're going to trim it to 8.5 by 9. So I'm just going to put this on the 9. And cut. So this we'll use for something else later. So now I'm going to score. I'll leave this here for a second in case you want to take a screenshot, and I will put it up on my blog at some point, and I can show you this again as we go making the card. But we're going to score it 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 6 3/8, and 8.5. So this is what we're going to do right now. So 2 1/8. The score is the light gray one. 4 1/4. 6 3/8. I even made a little mark there because it's kind of in between on the seam, and 8.5. Something I just discovered recently is, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. On your score blade, and actually mine came the opposite, and so I'll show you this now. They can come out. There's this little notch here, so they came that way, but I like the score to be on the top, so I just kind of put them in the other direction, and then when you need to replace them, that's how you do it with that little notch there. But there's a little knob, like a circle on the score, and then this little triangle, which I didn't know about for the cutting. So if you ever get confused, that's that. All right, so those are my marks. So then I'm going to rotate it this way, and I'm going to cut at 4 1/4. So it's really in half. And then this one I'm going to cut half. So this would be 2 1/8. Would be half of 4 1/4. Okay, so those are really the 4 pieces that are going to make up that cube. So I'll put that aside. And I'm going to find my scissors. Now, this is black, so this might be hard for you to see a little bit. So let me fold a little bit on my score marks. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better. So this is a little tab. So I'm just going to make little notches. One here, I'll flip it over, and then one here. And it just makes folding it a little bit easier. But I'm not going to do it on the big one because you would see it a little bit. So see, my seam is right here. I mean, you could do it. I didn't think I needed to do it on the big one. But let me just fold these while I have them here. And I'm going to fold these two. All right, so hopefully you can see that a little bit better with the fold marks. Okay. So then, put this back. We have patterned paper. So you might even be able to see it better on this one. I did all the same pattern paper on the front, and then I did, a different paper, all the same on I just call the inside. So And I also, this one is outlined or has a border of red. And then this one I alternated. So there's a border of gray, Blackberry Bliss, and Cajun Craze on this one. So you can, you know, whatever colors you want. But the pattern paper, the one on the front, so this one is the bats and this one is the little banner paper. You need 6 pieces, 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, so it's a square. And then the layer underneath, you need 6 pieces, 2 by 2. And then for the inside, so like these pieces, you need 6 pieces, 2 by 2. So if you didn't do the layer on the front, then you can just cut them all 2 by 2. But I kind of like the extra color. Okay. And then actually I'll just say the tall back panels. So these guys, I did 2 of them, 2 by 4 1/8. And that was just so I could write on the card. So otherwise you wouldn't be able to write anywhere. That's when I just left blank. Okay, so I have already pre-cut those. So I have my bat paper, my inside paper, and then my long ones, and then my border paper. So I should have, if I was smart, I would have done these ahead of time, but I didn't. So I'm going to glue them on real quick here. And the glue is super fast. It dries really fast too. And I'll show you something the glue does. I may have shown on another video, and I just recently posted it in an email. But a lot of people don't know something about the glue. I think I might even do a video just on different ways of using this glue, because there are a few different things you can do with it. Okay, so I always use this one, but if you take that bottom off, you have a glue stick, which is great when you need to do bigger surface areas. But a lot of people don't know that. All right, so that's done. So I made, and I strongly suggest you do this too if you're going to make multiples of these, or if you're going to make one and then wait a while and then make another one. You need templates. So these are really the same as these. So we're going to start with the little one. Let's start this way. Oh, I got glue all over me. I'm going to be sticky. All right, so I'm going to start with my tab that I notched on the bottom. I have it on the bottom. And I'm going to put, I wrote top and front. So top and front are these pieces. So this piece and this piece is what we're going to put down first. So I'm going to glue it. I'll just do it this way. Now you could alter the, you know, if I wanted the pattern to be altered, which looks nice. I will put the gray on the bottom. You can kind of play with it. All right, so these are, I'll show you. So this would be like this cube, this would be this cube, okay? So then I'm going to, while I have this here, I flip this over. And so the tab's still on the bottom, and you can flip them, but it just says the contrast. So I'm going to put these on that. So the contrast meaning like the inside pieces. Now as I'm putting my glue down, I normally put the glue on the smaller, or even the tape on the smaller piece, but I just made sure that there was a border so I know that the glue won't exceed the pieces of paper. And these have small border. I did them so they're just, oh, that one. It's just gonna make it was a little big. They're tiny little borders. Okay, so we have the front, we have the inside, and now we're going to do the same thing. And feel free to stop the video and replay if you need. But I highly suggest making these little templates. All right, so same thing. So this is the taller piece. So I have my little skinny tab on the right, and I'm going to put my two front layers right here. And again, they're really skinny borders. So if you want bigger borders, you can just alter what you cut these little squares at. Sometimes it's best too, before like jumping in with all your good paper and making the card, to make a template, make like a kind of a, I want to say a dummy card, but one to refer to and kind of get the kinks out of. It helps. Okay, so now I'm going to flip over my template here so that now my tab is on the left, and I'm going to put DSP, stands for Designer Series Paper, and or the inside paper. I should probably write that on there. Put that there. I'm thinking I might be slightly off on my score marks, but I wrote them right. We'll see when we put it together. All right. So now I fold, oh, I just turned it over because it's easier to me to have the tab on this side. I folded it over. I'm going to put some glue on the tab so that the inside pieces are actually on the inside. And then I'm going to close, this shoot. I think I didn't see it right. I'm going to show you. I have a scrap piece big what I wanted you to do. Shoot. So mine, look at, it's not perfectly square, but for what we're doing, it's fine. So what you should do with the right measurements, you put the glue here and you close it, and it lines up perfectly, and you do it that way instead of what I just did. Because then you know it's flat and it will sit flat in the envelope, but I'm like 1/8 of an inch off. I must have, that's hard to see when you're doing things on camera, but it will still come together fine. Sorry. So the same thing, I'm going to put glue on this tab. Normally I would close it over like a book, but I'm a tiny bit off, so I'm just going to do it this way. Like I said, it sticks pretty good and fast. Okay, so then you have your there we go, your cubes. Okay, and so how we are, no, yours will sit nice and flat. How we're going to put them together is, I'm going to say bat to bat, or pattern back to back, pattern to pattern, and we're going to glue it right here. So I'm going to put some glue right there. So if you put pattern to pattern, and then by doing it this way, you can see where the score line is. You can see this edge and this edge, so you know you got it on there. And the same thing on this one. I would recommend using the glue or using the Seal Plus, because that's a much stronger adhesive than the snail. Oh, sorry, I'm making this work. All right, because I want it to sit flat. You guys will know, no one else will know. Okay, and so you nice and flat, and then when you pop it open, yeah, looks like my glue didn't dry. All right, I'm gonna let the glue dry for a second. And what else? I'm gonna get out the little pieces. So I have the moon, which I have here. I did I think it's a 1 3/4 inch circle. And I have happy that I'm going to glue down. And uh-oh, my Halloween. I pre-glued the Halloween. Oh, it might be downstairs. Okay, I'll find it. So let me show you actually quick, and then I'll get the Halloween. The paper I used, it's called Magic in This Night Designer Series paper. I use for my bats that I already pre-cut the black glitter paper. And the stamp set, isn't that cool and spooky? The stamp set and the dies are right here. So that's the stamp set. And then these are the dies that I've used a lot. I love these little tag pieces. I use those for a lot of things. And then for the words, the happy and the Halloween come from this, the word wishes. So there's lots of words to choose from. So it's a really good word set to have. Okay, I'm just looking. I think it's downstairs. I'm going to shut this off for a second, but you won't even know because I'm going to come right back. I'm just missing my Halloween words. 1 sec. Okay, so this is what I was looking for, my Halloween. So I already pre-glued that on there, and so I'm going to just glue just a little bit onto the happy, onto the moon. Okay, and this should be good by now. And so, yeah. So you can either do like I did on this one, the bat I did on front. This one I did the bat in the little and then behind. You can decide. And the other thing too is if you take your envelope, you just want to make sure, so I'm going to put it on this piece. Whatever you put on does not like exceed the envelope, so you need it to fit inside. So I'm just going to glitter. I kind of like the bat off to the side behind. So when I was first started making these cards, and it fell over, I couldn't quite figure out how to get these to stick. So what I did, fell over, on the first one is I put glue, put it up and show you. I put glue just right on the seam, and I put it there and I held it till it dried, and it kind of worked. But there's a much better way of doing it. You can kind of see these little, it fell over, these tabs that we're gonna do, and so that way they stay on. So I have these little tabs, and they'll vary in size depending on what you're putting on there. So these happen to be 1.5 by 3/4, and then I scored at 3/4 and 1/2. So we're gonna use those. So I'm gonna put some just glue, and you could see my sticky stuff fell off. So the glue really does work, really does work better. So I'm going to put one there. I guess it's like a brace. Okay, and then I'm going to put one on the other side. Like that. I just want to make sure the camera's on. Okay, so we have that little brace there. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, which is a little, not harder, but you have to kind of hold it a little differently. So a little glue here. So if you fold it, if you kind of fold it in the middle, you have a little bit. You just want to make sure that fold is kind of in alignment with, or not exceeding anyways, the fold of the card. And then we'll do the other side. And that's the thing with the glue too. If you put it one place and you need to kind of move it around a little bit, you have a few seconds to do that. Okay, So you have these little braces or brackets, I guess. So now I can put some glue here. I'm going to push these down, push this open, and put on my moon. Hold that just for a second. Okay, and then this one's a little trickier, but we'll still make it work. So I'm going to put the glue here and here, and then I'm going to put my Halloween just can't see it. See, it's there. Make sure it's straight. And then I'm gonna just smush it to get it in alignment. And actually, while that's drying, I'll just quickly stamp my, there they go, these guys. So I'm going to use you can use Open If You Dare. I'm going to use There's Magic in This Night. And then this is Trick or Treat. This is from, I think it's Itty Bitty Phrases, Itty Bitty Words, like that. And we'll stick some bats on there too. And I'm going to turn this over. And just put these guys on, and then we're done. Maybe I'll put another bat on the front. Oh, this is where I'll move this over. That's where my error was for that. It was off that 1/8 of an inch. Okay. Again, sometimes it's hard to see with the lights and the camera's like right above my head. All right, fix this again. I think a little kid is going to get this one because they're really not going to care if it's exactly measured right. Okay. Oh. Sometimes I hate showing you my mistakes, but sometimes I like showing you my mistakes because that way you know we all make them. Okay. And see how these are popping up? That's normal. So sometimes I'll just put like a little weight down there and then they'll flatten out. So let me just throw another bat on here. Just because I have them. One more, and then really we're done. Okay. So there we go. My little imperfect cube card. But it worked. So again, let me put those measurements here. But these measurements are right. So I just didn't cut right. So we started with 8.5 by 9. We did these score marks. And then we cut those pieces. So we had 3 pieces. And then we just put on our layers. So as long as you follow the step-by-steps, you're going to find once you make one, and you go, oh, that's actually kind of easy. You're going to make a bunch because I made a bunch because they're a lot of fun. And I would love to see what you make. So make sure you join my VIP group on Facebook. It's Mail Something Pretty. What's it? MSP VIPs, I think is what it's called. But there's links on my regular Facebook page for it too. Because that way you can post pictures of what you make on the group page, whereas the regular Mail Something Pretty page, you can't post pictures. So that's one of the highlights of the VIP group. So I would love to see what you make. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is just getting a little bit longer, so I'll cut out here. But I would love to see what you make. And thanks very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.